Wine on a Walmart budget.
I'm Greg.
I'm Julie, and we're the Crafty Winers. Everything we're using tonight can come from Walmart. We've got juice for $5.96, 2 jugs of 64-ounce juice, a packet of yeast, which was $1.88 for 3 of them, a balloon, which you can get 30 of them for $1.
Just think what you could do with the 29 other balloons.
Make 29 more gallons of wine.
That's what I'm going to do.
We've got the jug here, this pretty cute little jug we just got for $5. A gallon of distilled water for $2.38, and Dawn antibacterial soap for $2.94. So that's a grand total of $19.16. So everything for under $20, and you can have wine.
We do have other things that can come from Walmart that we already had, so they're not included in that. You probably have these things too. Dawn was included. I think this is a bigger size because, again, we already had this. This is antibacterial Dawn. That's important. In real winemaking, you're going to use something called Star San, probably. It's a much better sanitizer. But for our cheap wine, our wine on a Walmart budget, Dawn antibacterial is going to work. When you're making real wine, you should use something better than this.
So just to be clear, everything that's going to be touching this grape juice or any of the ingredients has been cleaned beforehand thoroughly using Dawn antibacterial dish detergent, and then we also rinsed it with distilled water after the fact.
You can buy a cork at Walmart via a bottle of wine, but maybe you have a cork lying around or save one from your next bottle of wine. This isn't included in the price.
It could be free. Steal one from your friends.
But what we're going to do, we're going to use this as part of our airlock. So I've got a 3/16 drill bit. You can use one that's slightly bigger, slightly smaller. Drill a hole through end to end through the cork, and we're going to end up using that later on. Make sure you get all the filings out of the middle, and then use Dawn on this to clean it really well. So now I've got a hole through my cork.
Ahoy, mate!
I
It's big
spy.
It's big enough for air to freely go through. Before you put it in the Dawn, you can blow through it to make sure. I would make sure you clean it after you do that, though.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Just to be clear, this isn't going to be great wine. This is wine that is going to be probably pretty drinkable. It's not using wine yeast. It's using bread yeast. And it's using grape juice that's Great Value brand. So this is going to be kind of a fun thing. We're not expecting it to be great.
You don't know. This could be the best wine we've ever made.
If it is, I'm not going to admit to that.
So what I'm going to do, if I can get the lid off of this thing, is pour into this measuring cup a 1/4 cup of this juice.
This is room temperature, by the way. If you have refrigerated your juice for some reason, you're going to want to let it sit out to get to room temperature before you start this.
So I added a 1/4 cup of this juice, and we microwaved it for about 10 seconds to get it to around 80 degrees, because that's what the yeast says on the packet. I'm going to add a teaspoon of sugar and then stir that up and add the yeast. And the sugar dissolves pretty fast because the liquid is warm, so this should be good there. And then I'm going to put this in on top.
Just let it float on top.
Apologize for my messy package opening, but they don't make it easy to open. And then we are going to let it sit for a little while.
You want it about 90 degrees, between 80 and 90 degrees. If you don't have a place that's good for that, put it next to a heater or something. And you're going to want to let it sit for maybe 10-15 minutes.
Until it's nice and bubbly. So now I am going to add 1 of my jugs of juice to this container without splashing it all over everybody, hopefully. So far, so good.
This is a pretty cool container for $5.
I like it. I like it a lot. And then I am going to add I am going to add 23 ounces of sugar, which is approximately 3 cups. Right into the jar.
Most of it.
I got
And
it all
and
in.
the corgis get the rest.
I think I got it in. Then I'm going to put the lid back on and we are going to shake it up.
When she says we, she means
You.
me.
I'm going to put the lid on. You get to shake it. How's that?
Okay.
Okay.
I get to drink it too, right?
Sure. But you have to share. Okay, this one's really not
This is $5 because
because it leaks.
it's not watertight.
I guess people aren't shaking their iced tea, maybe.
So shake it carefully is the key. Above something that can catch the grape juice.
Like this towel. I guess alternatively, you could stir it. Our corgi is going crazy. She's waiting for the grape juice to hit the floor.
Better idea? Stir it for about 5 minutes.
It was made in China,
Where things are not watertight,
apparently.
grape juice tight. It's okay to stir it kind of aggressively because you want there to be some oxygen that gets into the grape juice. It's a good thing for the yeast.
Yep.
So I stirred it up for 3, 4, 5, 15 minutes, something like that.
3, 4, 5,
A long
15.
time.
A really long time. I took a nap while he was stirring. But it's all stirred up now. Just a side note, when we make our more professional batches of wine, we do take a pH.
Like our chocolate Merlot.
Oh, yes, like our chocolate Merlot that we're drinking right now. So stay tuned for that recipe. It's yummy. We did take a pH on this just for the heck of it. And it's a little on the low side, but we know that the yeast will work just fine with it. So we're going to go with that. Okay, so since that's all stirred up, we are going to add the second bottle of Great Value grape juice.
For those that are math challenged, this makes a gallon, 264-ounce jugs of grape juice.
He's
Math.
trying to give you a math lesson at the same time.
Math is fascinating.
And then, after I get this all in here, we are going to stir it this time, not shake it. The opposite of James Bond. It's stirred, not shaken.
This time we only need to do it for just
a little
literally
bit.
just maybe 60 seconds.
Okay, so we let this sit at about 80 degrees for about 20 minutes. You just want to make sure that the yeast is a little foamy, telling you it's happy yeast, and then you can add it to your juice. Like so. And then I'm going to put this really awesome lid back on here.
And make sure the lid is on as tight as you can safely get it. And then we're going to do an airlock that lets the CO2 out and lets oxygen in. But we're using a balloon and the cork that we drilled the hole through. So if your cork is too small, you want it to be very snug in here so that the foaming liquid, because that's what's going to happen, can't get out this without going through the hole in the cork. So if your cork isn't tight like mine is, if it isn't snug, if it's going to let liquid out through anything but the hole in the middle of the cork, use saran wrap and wrap it around the outside of the cork. Make sure you don't block the hole, but you can use that to put a little gasket around the outside of the cork, and then it'll be nice and snug.
And then we, with a little pin, just pricked about 5 holes in this balloon, which will let the CO2 gases escape.
And don't forget about the holes, otherwise you'll
Yeah.
have a pop balloon and wine all over your ceiling.
You'll have a rocket balloon. And now we are going to put this in a room where it will stay about 80 degrees. So any place you've got like your furnace room or water heater room would work. And then we're going to let it set for 15 days, and we will give you updates along the way as it goes through its fermentation process. It has been 2 weeks for us, not for you, luckily, and our hobo/prison Walmart wine on a budget is done.
It actually stopped bubbling at like the 5th day. Don't know why. I added a little bit of yeast to it again to see if it would start back up, and it didn't. So it's done. It's as done as it's going to get. If we were doing this seriously and using winemaking equipment, we would know probably why it stopped. It's probably the pH level or something else, but this was an experiment, something fun for you on the Walmart budget. So it's just going to be a mystery why ours stopped. Hopefully yours kept going. So what we're going to do now is use the spout and pour the wine minus the sediment that's at the bottom into the empty distilled water jug that we had you get. So we drained the wine out of this using the spout. Don't take the sediment that's at the bottom. You want the sediment to stay in here. That's the point of putting it into here, is you want the sediment to stay with this container. You see the foam, that's from oxygen. That's not really a good thing for wine. So for this and other reasons, you're going to want to drink this pretty fast. You're not going to want to bottle it and save it a year.
So what we're going to do now is wash this out, get the sediment all out of it, wash it with Dawn antibacterial, get it all squeaky clean, and then we're going to put the wine back into here so that it's easy self-serve.
It's nice and clean now. There was quite a bit of sludge at the bottom. Yeah, you don't want to take that with you. You want to leave that in the bottom of your sink.
And that's where it is now.
Now we're going to carefully pour this back in. You don't want a lot of foam. You don't want a lot of oxygen to be hitting this because it'll ruin the taste and it will make it not last as long. So just try to pour it on the sides as much as you can so it's not splashing.
All right, we carefully poured all of this from here back in here, and you see most of the foam's gone because we tipped it and poured it along the side, kind of like you would pour a beer, draft beer.
A lot of the bubbles are CO2, and we're going to taste this, and it probably will be a little bit fizzy like soda pop because of the CO2 that is a byproduct of fermentation.
But that'll go away.
It'll go away over time.
So next step is we're going to put this lid on, and we're going to drink a little bit. That's the best part. Okay, and you'll see in true Walmart fashion, we are using cups that were actually bought at Walmart. Cheers. Huh. It's sweet.
It tastes kind of like carbonated grape juice with a little kick.
I think it doesn't taste bad.
It's not terrible. I don't think I'd drink very much of it.
Well,
It's also
you don't
warm.
like sweet wine either.
We didn't cool this down. It's just came out of our furnace room, so it's 80 degrees still. This would probably be a little more pleasant if it was chilled.
Yeah, I would chill it for sure. And since, you're going to want to drink this now, just stick it in your fridge, invite all your friends over, and have a little party.
You can keep it in the fridge for probably a week or two safely. It's got alcohol. It's going to protect it. If it's not sweet, ours came out sweet. Yours probably will too because of the amount of sugar that we put in there and the fact that I don't think it all fermented out. It didn't all turn into alcohol. You could put sugar in this. If you keep it in the fridge, it probably won't start fermenting again. But the yeast that's in here is still alive. Feeding it sugar could, if the conditions are correct, start it re-fermenting. But this is definitely wine that you want to drink chilled.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. And also, if it's not sweet enough and you don't want to use regular table sugar, you can put stevia or
Non-fermentable sugar.
any of those artificial sweeteners will
This
work
doesn't
too.
need sugar though.
This
It's plenty-
definitely doesn't need sugar. It's
sweet.
good the way it is.
When you have this in the fridge, it will cause a lot of the sediment that's still suspended in the wine to sink to the bottom. That's called cold crashing.
Which is good.
There will be sediment that's going to build up in the bottom. If you want to do this racking process, which is transferring this to the gallon jug and back again, you can. But
It's all going to end up
Yeah,
below where
the
it will
spout.
even pour anymore.
Just be
So
aware that there probably will be
there'll be
sediment at
some
the
down
bottom,
here.
so don't jar this around, no pun, too much to get it all mixed back up into this again.
Don't shake it for more than one reason. That reason and this lid sucks.
But $20 for
Yeah.
a gallon of this, and the next time you make it, it's going to be a lot cheaper because you already have the jug,
Yep.
and you already have yeast left over, so
And balloons,
and balloons.
lots of balloons.
So this was a successful experiment.
It's kinda fun.
Kind of fun.
Yeah.
So we'll leave a comment below to let us know how yours went if you try this. We have serious winemaking videos on our channel where we do things the right way and we're not leaving everything to chance like we did with this. So if you're interested in learning more about winemaking, just check out the other videos that we've got on making Merlot or Cab or Chardonnay. And with those, we explain things maybe to a fault, but you'll understand how this works and you'll know how to make sure that your fermentation reaches the desired ABV.
So we hope you had fun. We had fun with this little experiment, wine on a Walmart budget. If you liked it, click the like button. Like he said, we have other videos, so subscribe to our channel and tell it you want notifications on all of our videos, and you can check out the other stuff we've got on there. Thank you for watching. Till next time. Cheers.